Danny H Retro Gaming Nut here. Basically, I'm going to talk about Streets of Rage, but first of all, apologies for the lack of videos lately. Unfortunately, I haven't been very well. I've got quite bad health problems at the moment. I'm currently off work due to these health problems, but I'm going to do some reviews today on some of my favourite games of all time. This series is one of my favourite games of all time. If you can't tell by the video, this is absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love this series of games. I'm going to take you through them. Now, it starts off with Streets of Rage in the middle there on Mega Games 2. I haven't got the physical cartridge for Streets of Rage 1, unfortunately, but I have got it on Mega Games 2. That was the first one that had Adam, Axel and Blaze. Absolutely fantastic game. I love it. However, the one next to it, Streets of Rage 2, now that has got to be one of my all-time favourite games. That is obviously I grew up on Sega in my teenage years, and that game there I just absolutely adore, and that I think that's probably one of my top 20 games of all time. I absolutely love that game. And then after Streets of Rage 2 became Streets of Rage 3. Oh, Streets of Rage 2, sorry. They didn't have Adam in it because apparently he'd been kidnapped. Although that was sort of like canonical in the storyline, but not for what I'm about to show you in a little while on the computer. But you had Max Thunder, who was a big wrestler type guy. You had Blaze and Axel from Streets of Rage 1, and you had Skate, who was Adam's little brother, who wanted revenge on the people who kidnapped him, and to help rescue his brother as well. But Axel, Blaze and Skate all appeared in Streets of Rage 3. Now, Streets of Rage 3 was a very good game. It was an excellent game, in fact. It wasn't quite as good as Streets of Rage 2. However, there is Bare Knuckle 3 as well, which was what Streets of Rage 3 should have been. They had more. The women were a bit more skimpily dressed, and you also had that gay guy called Ash, or that flamboyant guy rather, called Ash, who was absolutely funny as anything. He was just the one. But unfortunately, Sega decided they brought regular enemies in for Streets of Rage 3, and they didn't bring Ash in, which I think he would have been pretty cool in the game, to be honest with you. But still, all said and done, Streets of Rage 3, they also upped the difficulty. So normal on Streets of Rage. So basically, normal on Streets of Rage 3 was actually easy on Bare Knuckle 3. Hard on Bare Knuckle 3 was normal on Streets of Rage 3, and obviously so on and so forth. So they upped the difficulty for the NTSC and PAL region. Unfortunately, that didn't go down very well with the buyers. Bare Knuckle 3, I think, is what Streets of Rage 3 should have been. So I don't know quite why Sega did that, really, but they had their reasons, I imagine. And anyway, it was ages and ages and ages before, but barring what I'll get on the other game I'll get onto in a minute, before a sequel came along, which was Streets of Rage 4. So we've got some new characters in there. I think we've got Adam's daughter, I think, and also you had Axel and Blaze, obviously. I think Adam's in there as well, and you've got Adam's daughter, and I think, have you got other characters as well? I don't know. You can play up to 4 characters. It obviously had a lot of enhancements, because obviously this is the new game. I haven't played it yet. I haven't tried it, but I will be playing it soon, because obviously with my health problems and with other things going on, I haven't really had a chance to play it. Basically, 26 years between Streets of Rage 3 and Streets of Rage 4. That's quite a long time. But, you know, but from what I'm hearing on the reviews, it is well worth the wait. Because apparently that is a fantastic game, and when I get a chance, I am going to have a go on it. But if you have a free or anything to go by, I think it'll be absolutely brilliant, that game. Anyway, I'm going to take you on because they did another company who didn't get the Sega license, didn't get it licensed from Sega, released their own game, which wasn't really canonical with any of the others. But I'm going to show you that game now. I'm just going to pause the video for a minute and then I'll get the game straight. And on my computer you can see here the title screen for Streets of Rage Remake, or Streets of Rage V5R. You've got new characters in it, you've got all of the old characters from the games. You've got Axel, Max, Blaze, Skate, Adam, Dr. Zan, who was in Streets of Rage 3. Sorry, I forgot to mention him earlier. But, you know, he was a playable character in Streets of Rage 3 as well. But also, they brought some new characters in. They brought the boss characters, Shiva, who actually played a better role in Streets of Rage 4 than what he did in the other games. He was more integrated into the main storyline and wasn't a completely evil character. And you had Mr. X as well, who was the bad guy, you know, in the main antagonist in all the games. You also had Ash, who made an appearance. He was basically from Streets of Rage 3. They brought him into this as well. And then you had some new characters. You had Rue, who basically was basically a character who also appeared in Streets of Rage 3. And he was really the kangaroo, boxing type kangaroo. Obviously there was ones, I think it was it Roger or Alex out of Tekken 2 or the Tekken series. Yeah, he was another boxing kangaroo. So we have some boxing kangaroo animals in the games, but which are really funny. And Rue, if you've ever seen Rue, he's hilarious. If you've ever seen him play, if you ever played as him. So also you have two new characters called Elle and Rudra. Now, Elle was basically a lady who was basically got from Electra, designed from Electra. And so because she had a whip for one hand, and obviously had a hand was the other on the other arm. So she was a fun character to play as. And then you had Rudra, who was sort of like a female ninja type character, who is brilliant. Oh, I don't know why she wasn't in the other Streets of Rage games, because she would have been a fantastic character in them. So anyway, you have the 6 main characters: Axel, Max, Blaze, Skate, Adam, and Dr. Zan. You have Mr. X as the main antagonist, and he was also a playable character. You have Shiva, Ash, Rue, Ellen, Rudra. So those are basically the 12 characters you can play in the Streets of Rage remake. Now, I think it was a really good idea, but I mean, they tried to integrate the whole story into its own sort of like storyline, which was interesting, but it wasn't really canonical with the other story, with the other Streets of Rage games. I mean, it was all sort of like integrated into one game, which was an interesting idea, and it is a very good game. But obviously, it's not Sega licensed, and they just put some new bits into the game, which I think was really really interesting, and obviously it was just anyway. So basically, that is Danny H's Streets of Rage reviews. And yeah, so yeah, it's a that is the Streets of Rage reviews. They are fun as anything. I love them. I think personally they are a classic game franchise, and it'd be cool to see more of them if they ever do release them. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Take care and stay safe, and hopefully I'll feel better soon, and I'll be back to normal and doing some more videos. Anyway, take care and stay safe. Goodbye.